So here we are on the last step of putting our felted turkey together. We're actually going to put all the parts together. We have the head, the body, the tail feathers, and some feet. And you can really do this in any order, but the most detail to be added, if you're going to do anything, is going to be at this front. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to put this head on the front of the body. I usually do this dark part toward the back. And I'm just going to, this is all fluffy, so I've said this times before that if you're tying it, whoops, we're going to have to add some wool when we connect the body to the tail feathers because it's all really well felted, but this is kind of fluffy here. We may not need to add anything. I kind of feel like it's going to smush down though, so I'm going to put a little bit of wool over this. And I'm going to felt the neck. You can actually have the head turning, but I'm going to try to get this straight. It's like, okay, if it turns out not straight, because it can be looking off in one direction, and that's cute. So we're doing this part. We're attaching the neck to the chest. And I'm going to pull some of this off. I want this to be a nice, smooth transition, although you can have the neck be you can have that distinction between the neck and the chest over here, and then over down here you want it to smooth in underneath. So like up high, you want there to be a distinction, and then it joins in, becomes one with the body. Now, if this all shrinks down to very little, you might want to add, you can add some more. I'm just adding core wool because I'm having this be mostly white, and I'm going to add a little bit of striping though on here. So I'm building this up and smoothing it out a little bit. I don't want this to take too long, so I'm going to just add some markings now, and then we'll move on to the next step. But you're going to want to just make sure this is really well connected, and at some point, what I would do is pull on it and make sure it's really attached, really well attached. Even though this won't be a toy and you won't have people handling it, you want it to be able to be strong enough and really integrated. Okay, so I'm gonna do that for a while, and you can also see we attached here. You also want this connection, there to be a connection in the back too, because we just felted from the front. I'm gonna stick a little bit of wool right back here, and then felt that in. Felt that right at the top to be connected really well. Okay, and then I'm just going to take, you can just leave that neck white, but I'm going to take some of this tan color, make a couple of stripes along here. I'm going to go back to my single needle. You can have these just be very, you can even just make like kind of specks on the chest. A little bit of markings help get it integrated. This very, very loosely in terms of how precise my lines are. Not very precise, as we've been talking about making the lines kind of feathery. And I kind of want to integrate. I noticed that I made the body, I didn't use this kind of cinnamon color, and I want to kind of get it integrated. So I might later on actually add some of the cinnamon color somewhere else too, but for now I'm just going to put a little bit of it, a little bit of the cinnamon color markings here. You can do a lot more detail than this or less. Like I said, you could just leave it white. I wanted to do a little something there, okay? It's a little too stripey, and I can go, a lot of this I can still keep working on once it's all attached, so I'm going to keep going. I'm going to do the tail feathers now. So this is going to get attached like this, and I can decide, so I wind up doing details on both sides. I can decide which one I like better and which one I want to be the front. maybe this one. Let's see. Okay, so then what I want to do is put a little bit of core wool here. We're going to treat it sort of like glue. Put a little bit here. Which side did I say? Doesn't matter, they're both good. Anyway, I'm going to put it this way, and then I'm going to put a little more, I can do a little bit of more loose wool here. And I'm just going to start stabbing all the way through. And, you know, sometimes we don't want to stab all the way through, but I want to make sure it's lined up. I'm going to look at the back, see I can line up those tail feathers with the wings. Get this really poked in, and then make sure that it's looking centered from the front as well. And I'm gonna, oops, little bits of different colors of wool here, which is fine. But I can really, maybe if I go, I was trying to get it a little more attached here, and the other thing I can do is just do this. You can see that on this one, I kind of made this little tush tail thing. So I'm probably going to do that again here. And I'm looking if it's, I want it to be lined up with those, see those wings on the ends of those wings. I want these tail feathers to be centered on that. So here I can fill in more of the cinnamon color right here. I want to get these lines to extend all the way down. Just poke in toward the center with those lines. I could always add more of those colors and more detail. But mostly what I'm trying to do here is get this really well connected and felted together. Okay. So it's already sticking together, and I'm just going to keep going over that. And then I don't have to add, like I added a couple little more stripes here, but I really just want to firm this part up and make it maybe a little pointy. And then I could decide later if I wanted to add more detail to that. The point of this video is getting everything connected, and then you can always add a little more details over those points of connection if you want to. Okay, so now everything's, I'm going to pull, everything seems to be well connected. I would want to strengthen up this neck a little bit more, but it's connected and it's standing up. You could see that. And so the last thing to add is the feet. That's the fourth part. I did these pretty skinny, a lot skinnier than the ones, these I did thicker. I put more, it was basically, they're both with pipe cleaners. It's just a matter of how much wool I put in between the pipe cleaners and how much wool I wrapped around afterwards. So I made a little fatter feet in different colors. But this is the same way you're gonna attach them. So kind of, here, this is still pretty fluffy right here from where we attached the neck. But I'm gonna put this kind of, you want these feet to be extending toward the front of the body. And you can make some of these toes go more like 3 and 3, like the feet. And I'm going to put it right in the center here. And I can either go over that with, see on this one, I covered the whole belly with the tan. But I'm just going to show you, I can do this with core wool too. And like, I could maybe start, just so I be really careful not to, this is just raw pipe cleaner in the middle. So it might be helpful to wrap some wool around it. Wrap some white wool here, and then put a little bit of white wool over it. And you could change this color. So I'm going to now felt, you don't want to hit directly on the wire, but I'm going to go just below the wire and just above the wire. And I might want to add some more wool. I want this to be a really firm connection, so I do more than just that little bit. You could see that on this one. Well, it's about as narrow, but I put a bunch of wool there. So again, just above and just below. And then let me just show you, there is a way to get the wool that's right on top felted. You have to be really careful. I'm going to take my, here, I'll show you with a single needle. I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to angle it so that it's just rubbing above the wire, but off on an angle that way, and then I can do this way, but I am this way felting all the wool that's on top of there, but I'm kind of doing it sideways. Okay, and then do that for a while, and they should, now the bigger feet are going to give it more support to stand, but this is standing quite nicely. It has some random wool there. I think this guy looks pretty cute, and like I said, I can continue working the, you know, if you want to, let me just give you some more ideas of details. This is the same technique we used before, and on the front with the neck of just adding some lines here, and you can, if you want this to be sticking out more, and you can put a little more poof here. You can do it in a different color. So this is just the same thing we've been doing all along on the body. You can make any patterns you want, and the idea is just to be poking all the way through so that you're connecting the body with the tail. And then you can just build up this little shape and give it some more details if you'd like. Maybe I'll do that a little bit now. And just show you that, again, I can, if I wanted to neaten this up, I can add little bits of this color in here. Maybe make a circle of the tan around this whole space. You can really do anything you want in terms of finalizing the details on this. As long as you have all the major elements. Really, as long as you've done something to make a little fan of tail feathers and imply wings and feathers and your beak, your, what do we call this again? The snoot and the waddle. And some feet, you're good. So now we have a pair of these guys. And let me see, I don't usually dare to do this, but I'm going to set the camera up here and see if I can give you a better angle of what these guys look like. But there they are. There's those little turkeys. See, the new one came out a little bigger than the other one. It's okay. And yours can have a totally different look and still be an adorable Thanksgiving turkey decoration. So I hope you enjoy this project. I really love doing this one. I'm going to make a peacock soon. It's a very similar project, I think, with just more color. Okay, happy Thanksgiving. Thanks, bye.